Hello everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Gates channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit like for more daily drama updates and spoilers. Your support truly means a lot and helps our channel grow every day. The latest Beyond the Gates spoilers for Thursday, August 13th suggest that Heather Armstrong is once again preparing to interfere in Joey Armstrong's romance, while Bradley, Smitty Smith, finds himself facing an opportunity that could be far more dangerous than it first appears. As tensions continue to rise throughout Fairmont Crest, several characters are about to discover that the people around them may not be nearly as trustworthy as they seem. The day begins with Andre Richardson making his way to the hospital where he goes to visit Bill Hamilton in his room. Given everything that has happened between these two men, this visit is unlikely to feel like a simple act of concern or friendship. Instead, the atmosphere could quickly turn uncomfortable as Andre once again makes it clear that he wants Bill to stay away from Danny Dupree and focus on rebuilding his relationship with his own wife. There is clearly still unfinished business between Andre and Bill, and with emotions already running high, one wrong word could be enough to reignite their conflict. Of course, Bill has already been through an unimaginable ordeal, having nearly died multiple times during the Monday, August 10th episode, and that could change the tone of his confrontation with Andre in ways neither man expects. Perhaps the severity of what Bill has endured will prevent the situation from becoming as explosive as it otherwise might have been, leaving Andre to swallow some of his anger for the moment. But there is another possibility, and it may be the one that has everyone watching with their hearts in their throats. Andre is clearly exhausted by Bill continuing to remain in his life, especially when Danny is involved, and the tension between them could finally push Bill into revealing something he has been keeping buried. The biggest question is whether Bill will finally tell Andre about his one-night stand with Danny during the tornado. If that secret comes spilling out now, the consequences could reach far beyond this hospital room, because Andre may have been willing to tolerate many things, but discovering that Bill and Danny crossed that line could completely change the game. And while Bill is dealing with Andre, trouble is brewing on another front involving Bill's wife, Haley Hamilton. Haley is set to get into a confrontation with Bill's assistant, Caroline Lee, and this clash could expose just how much the relationship between these two women has changed. Caroline and Haley were once friends, which makes their current tension even more unsettling, because Caroline now appears to be seeing a side of Haley that she may have ignored or never recognized before. Something about Haley's behavior has begun to raise red flags, and Caroline may finally realize that there is a manipulative force working behind the scenes. The spoilers describe their encounter as a game of cat and mouse, suggesting that neither woman will be willing to reveal everything she knows. Caroline could carefully watch Haley, searching for cracks in her story, while Haley may attempt to figure out exactly how much her former friend has discovered. The real question is whether Caroline can gather enough information to expose Haley's scheme before Haley realizes what she is doing. As these dangerous games continue, the story shifts toward Ashley Morgan and Grayson Perez, who will find themselves worrying about a friend dealing with some serious issues. The identity of this troubled friend remains a mystery for now, but whatever is happening is serious enough to draw the attention of this powerful couple. Ashley and Grayson have their own complicated lives and problems to manage, yet they are still prepared to step forward when someone they care about needs help. That could lead them into an unexpected situation, especially if the friends' troubles are connected to one of the larger secrets currently spreading through Fairmont Crest. Their involvement may bring a little compassion into a storyline, otherwise filled with suspicion, manipulation, and hidden agendas. But even their desire to help could place them closer to danger than they realize, depending on exactly what this mysterious friend is facing. Meanwhile, Joey Armstrong and Vanessa McBride are heading straight back into another heated argument over Heather, and this conflict could become one of the most emotionally charged moments of the day. Joey loves his sister, but that love does not mean he trusts her, and he has repeatedly tried to warn Vanessa that Heather is not the harmless woman she appears to be. Vanessa, however, seems convinced that Heather is not truly dangerous, creating a painful divide between the couple as Joey desperately tries to make her understand what he knows. For Joey, this is not simply a disagreement about his sister's personality. He knows there is something deeply wrong beneath Heather's carefully controlled exterior. Vanessa, on the other hand, appears to believe that Joey may be judging Heather too harshly, leaving the two of them trapped on opposite sides of the same dangerous mystery. With the casino owner and the blonde once again clashing over Heather, emotions could quickly spiral out of control, especially if Vanessa refuses to listen to Joey's warnings. What makes this confrontation even more unsettling is the fact that Joey knows just how dangerous Heather can be, while Vanessa does not have the same information. Heather has already shown that she is capable of manipulating people and hiding her true intentions, and Joey has been trying to protect those closest to him from the consequences of her actions. Yet every time he warns Vanessa, the situation seems to become more complicated because Heather continues to maintain an appearance that makes it difficult for others to see what Joey sees. That leaves Joey fighting an uphill battle, trying to convince the woman he cares about that the person standing in front of them is not someone they should welcome into their lives. If Vanessa continues defending Heather, Joey may feel increasingly isolated, and that emotional pressure could make their latest argument even uglier. At some point, however, Heather may make one mistake too many, and Vanessa could finally begin to understand why Joey has been so determined to keep her away from his sister. Then comes another storyline that could carry a much darker edge, as Smitty is presented with an intriguing opportunity. On the surface, this might sound like a positive development for the journalist, especially after everything he has been dealing with. But the circumstances surrounding the offer immediately raise questions about whether it can really be trusted. Depending on who presents this opportunity, Smitty may have every reason to be suspicious, because someone could be setting him up for a trap without him realizing it. After all, Heather, also known as the Impaler, has a very personal reason to want revenge against Smitty. He exposed her plasma ring through his article series, and Heather is not the kind of person who simply forgets when someone threatens her secrets. She has already demonstrated that she is willing to manipulate situations to protect herself, so an innocent-looking opportunity could easily become part of something far more sinister. The closer Smitty gets to the truth, the more vulnerable he may become to Heather's retaliation. The most frightening part of this situation is that almost nobody understands just how dangerous Heather really is. Joey knows what she is capable of, but others continue to underestimate her, and that could give Heather the perfect opening to strike. If she is somehow behind the opportunity being presented to Smitty, she could be attempting to lure him into a situation where he has no idea what is waiting for him. The offer might appear professional, exciting, or even impossible to refuse, only for Smitty to discover that accepting it has placed him directly in Heather's path. Considering everything she has at stake, there is no telling how far she might be willing to go to silence someone who exposed her secrets. Smitty may believe he is being handed a career opportunity, when in reality, he could be walking directly into a carefully designed trap. And if Heather really is behind it, the danger may not become obvious until it is already too late to turn back. With Heather already interfering in Joey and Vanessa's relationship, manipulating the people around her, and potentially targeting Smitty, it is becoming increasingly clear that she has her hands in multiple schemes at once. Every move she makes seems designed to create confusion, weaken trust, or push people exactly where she wants them to go, and the frightening part is that many of them still have no idea they are being manipulated. At the same time, Andre and Bill are standing on the edge of a potentially explosive revelation, while Haley and Caroline circle each other in their own dangerous psychological battle. Ashley and Grayson are preparing to help a troubled friend, and Joey is once again forced to fight Vanessa over a sister he knows cannot be trusted. As all of these stories unfold at once, the tension surrounding Fairmont Crest becomes impossible to ignore because every secret seems to be connected to another secret waiting to surface. And that is what makes Thursday's episode so unpredictable. Bill could finally reveal the truth about Danny. Caroline could uncover evidence against Haley. Joey and Vanessa could find themselves pushed even further apart by Heather, and Smitty could accept an opportunity that turns out to be anything but safe. Meanwhile, Heather continues moving quietly through the shadows, manipulating circumstances and preparing her next move while the people around her struggle to recognize the danger. The woman known as the Impaler has already proven that she is willing to play a long game, and with Smitty now potentially in her sights, the consequences of his article series may finally come crashing down on him. The deeper these characters get into their secrets, the harder it becomes to know who can be trusted and who is secretly pulling the strings. One thing is certain. Heather is up to no good, and with her hands involved in multiple schemes, fans will definitely want to tune in to see what she does next. As Thursday's drama continues to unfold, the tension surrounding Heather becomes impossible to ignore because every new development seems to pull another character closer to the danger she has been quietly creating. What makes Heather so frightening is not simply the fact that she has secrets, but the way she appears capable of using other people's emotions, loyalties, and weaknesses to keep those secrets protected. While Joey has been trying desperately to make Vanessa understand that his sister is not someone they should trust, Heather continues to benefit from the doubt surrounding her. That uncertainty gives her room to maneuver, allowing her to move between different situations without immediately revealing what she is really planning. Meanwhile, Smitty could unknowingly be stepping into the most dangerous situation of all, especially if the mysterious opportunity placed in front of him has anything to do with Heather's desire for revenge. What looks like a fresh opportunity could suddenly become the moment when everything changes. For Smitty, the timing could hardly be more suspicious, because Heather has every reason to want him punished after his article series exposed her plasma ring. Journalism may have brought him closer to the truth, but it has also placed a target on his back, and Heather is not someone who accepts humiliation quietly. If she believes Smitty has damaged her reputation or threatened her carefully constructed world, she may decide that simply intimidating him is not enough. Instead, she could create a situation that makes him believe he is being rewarded for his work while secretly steering him toward a dangerous confrontation. Smitty may initially feel excitement or even relief when the opportunity is presented, unaware that someone else could be controlling the circumstances behind the scenes. The audience, however, will have every reason to question the offer from the very beginning. In Heather's world, nothing is ever as innocent as it appears, and the smallest opportunity can hide the largest threat. At the same time, Joey finds himself caught between his love for his sister and his determination to protect Vanessa from her. This is what makes his conflict with Vanessa so painful, because he is not trying to attack Heather simply because they have a complicated family history. Joey has seen enough to know that something is deeply wrong, and every warning he gives Vanessa comes from a place of genuine fear for what might happen if she gets too close. Yet Vanessa continues to see Heather through a completely different lens, making Joey's warnings sound almost like paranoia rather than protection. The more Vanessa defends Heather, the more frustrated Joey becomes, and that frustration could eventually force him into revealing more than he intended. If he tells Vanessa everything he knows, he risks exposing secrets that could create even more chaos. But if he remains silent, he could watch the woman he cares about walk directly into Heather's trap. Their argument, therefore, becomes more than another disagreement. It becomes a battle over trust, loyalty, and whether Vanessa will finally believe Joey before something terrible happens. And while Joey and Vanessa struggle over Heather, another confrontation is taking shape between Haley and Caroline, where the danger is far more subtle but no less serious. Caroline once considered Haley a friend, which means she may know enough about her personality to recognize when something does not feel right. Now that she has begun seeing Haley's manipulative side, Caroline may no longer be willing to simply look away or accept every explanation she is given. Their cat and mouse game suggests that both women will be watching each other carefully, measuring every word and every reaction for clues. Caroline may try to gather information without making Haley suspicious, while Haley could be equally determined to discover what Caroline knows. It becomes a psychological battle in which the first person to make a mistake could lose control of the entire situation. And if Caroline manages to uncover evidence of Haley's scheme, the consequences could be devastating. That possibility makes Haley's storyline particularly intriguing because manipulation becomes much more dangerous when the person being manipulated finally realizes what is happening. Haley may have believed that she could keep control over the situation by staying several steps ahead, but Caroline's growing suspicions could represent a serious threat. The former friendship between them could also make the confrontation more emotional, because betrayal always cuts deeper when it comes from someone who once trusted you. Caroline may not want to believe that Haley is capable of the things she suspects, but the more evidence she finds, the harder it will become to deny the truth. Haley, meanwhile, may try to use their past friendship to regain Caroline's trust or distract her from what she is really doing. Every interaction between them could therefore carry a hidden meaning, with both women carefully choosing what to reveal and what to conceal. Elsewhere, Ashley and Grayson are dealing with a very different kind of emotional challenge as they become concerned about a friend who is struggling with serious issues. Their involvement could provide one of the episode's more heartfelt moments, especially because their instinct is not to judge, but to help. Yet even an attempt to offer support can become complicated when people are surrounded by so many secrets and unstable relationships. Ashley and Grayson may find themselves asking questions they never expected to ask, and the answers could lead them toward a problem far bigger than they originally understood. The identity of the troubled friend remains uncertain, keeping another layer of mystery hanging over the episode. Whatever is happening, however, it is enough to make this couple take notice, and their desire to help could pull them into the middle of an unfolding situation. Meanwhile, the tension surrounding Bill and Andre continues to linger like a storm that refuses to move away. Bill has already survived several terrifying brushes with death, and now he must deal with the emotional consequences of everything that has happened. Andre's visit to the hospital may give them a chance to address some of the unresolved issues between them, but there is still the massive secret involving Danny hanging over the situation. If Bill decides to confess that he and Danny had a one-night stand during the tornado, the revelation could completely change the relationship surrounding all three of them. Andre may struggle to understand why Bill kept such an explosive secret, while Danny could find herself pulled into a confrontation she has been hoping to avoid. The longer the truth remains hidden, the more explosive its eventual discovery becomes. And with Andre already fed up with Bill lingering in his life, the wrong confession at the wrong moment could push him beyond the point of forgiveness. The emotional stakes become even higher because Bill's physical vulnerability could make everyone around him reconsider how far they are willing to go. After nearly dying multiple times, he is no longer simply the man who caused problems for others. He is also someone who has come dangerously close to losing his life. That does not erase the choices he has made, but it adds another complicated layer to every confrontation. Andre may be furious with him while still recognizing that Bill has just survived something horrific, creating an uncomfortable mixture of anger, resentment, and reluctant sympathy. Bill, meanwhile, may be forced to confront the possibility that his secrets are becoming too heavy to carry. If he finally speaks about Danny, he could lose whatever fragile peace remains around him, but keeping quiet may only make the eventual fallout worse. Through all of this, Heather remains the shadow hanging over the episode because her influence appears to reach into more than one storyline at once. Joey is warning Vanessa about her, Smitty may be walking toward a suspicious opportunity because of her, and her reputation as the Impaler continues to make her one of the most dangerous people in the story. The frightening thing is that Heather does not need to stand in the center of every confrontation to control what happens. She can manipulate from the sidelines, allowing other people to fight while she quietly watches the consequences unfold. That makes her difficult to predict and even harder to stop, especially when so few people understand the full extent of what she is capable of. By the time everyone realizes that several seemingly unrelated events may have been connected, Heather could already be preparing her next move. And as Thursday's episode moves toward its biggest moments, the question is no longer simply what Heather will do next, but how many lives her schemes will affect before anyone can stop her. Smitty's opportunity could become a trap. Joey and Vanessa's argument could deepen the cracks in their relationship. Caroline could discover something powerful enough to expose Haley. And Bill could finally reveal the secret that has been hanging over Andre and Danny. At the same time, Ashley and Grayson could become entangled in a friend's crisis, opening yet another emotional thread that may connect to the larger chaos surrounding them. Every storyline is moving closer to a breaking point, and the closer these characters get to the truth, the more dangerous the consequences become. Heather may believe she is controlling the game, but every scheme carries the risk of creating evidence against her. And when the truth finally begins to surface, the people she has been manipulating may discover that the most dangerous person in their lives has been standing much closer than they ever realized.